Hello, everyone. Today I will tell you an inspiring story. This story is not only for listening practice, it is also to teach us about hard work and determination. The title of this story is Nothing is Free. There was a young man named Leo. He was 20 years old and lived in a small, quiet town. The town was surrounded by mountains. It was peaceful, but life there was not easy. Leo had big dreams. He wanted to become a successful businessman. One day, he dreamed of owning a chain of restaurants. He wanted to give his family a better life. But Leo's family was very poor. His father, Mark, worked as a mechanic. His mother, Claire, cleaned houses every day. They worked very hard, but the money was never enough. Leo also had a little sister named Sophie. She was only 10 years old, and she admired her brother very much. One cold evening, Leo sat outside his small house. He looked at the stars in the dark sky. He felt tired and worried. Then he whispered to himself, "I want to change my life. I want to help my family, but how can I start when we barely survive every day?" The next morning, Leo talked to his father. He told him about his dreams. Mark listened quietly. Then he said, "Leo, dreams are not free. If you want something, you must fight for it. Start with what you have, even if it is very small." Leo thought deeply about those words. He repeated them in his heart. Dreams are not free. That day, as Leo walked around his town, he noticed something simple. People liked fresh bread. But the nearest bakery was very far. They had to travel to another town to buy bread. Suddenly, Leo had an idea. "Maybe I can sell bread here," he thought. "But I have no money." Still, he did not give up. He decided to take a big risk. He walked many miles to meet the bakery owner in the other town. The owner was an old man named Mr. Anderson. He was known as a strict and serious man. Leo stood nervously in front of him and said, "Sir, I want to sell your bread in my town, but I don't have money to pay first. Please give me 1 week. I will sell the bread, return your money, and keep only a small profit." Mr. Anderson looked at him carefully. He raised his eyebrow and asked, "Why should I trust you, young man?" Leo took a deep breath and firmly said, "Because I am determined. I will work hard. I will not run away." There was a long silence. Then Mr. Anderson finally said, "All right, I will trust you for 1 week, but if you fail, don't ever come back here again." Leo was very happy and grateful. Early the next morning, he carried a basket full of bread. He walked back to his town with tired legs, but a hopeful heart. He set up a small stand near the park. With a bright smile, he said to everyone, "Fresh bread! Warm and delicious." At first, people were unsure. They did not know Leo. They did not know the bread. So Leo gave away free samples. Slowly, people started to buy. One by one, the bread was sold. By the end of the day, all the bread was gone. Leo counted his money with shaking hands. He had enough to pay Mr. Anderson, and he also had a small profit. That evening, Leo returned to the bakery. He gave the money to Mr. Anderson. The old man nodded and said, "You kept your promise. Come back tomorrow." From that day on, Leo worked every single day. He woke up at 4 a.m. He walked to the bakery. He carried heavy bread baskets, and he sold them with energy and a smile. After 2 months, Leo saved enough money to buy a small cart. Now he could carry more bread. His business slowly grew. One day, a customer said, "Leo, why don't you bake your own bread? You will earn more money." That idea made Leo excited, but it also made him afraid. "I don't know how to bake. But if I want to grow, I must learn something new." That night, Leo remembered his father's words again. Dreams are not free. And at that moment, Leo understood something important. Success needs effort, knowledge needs sacrifice, and growth needs courage. This was only the beginning of his journey. Leo could not stop thinking about baking his own bread. If he could bake, he would not need to buy from others. His profit would grow. But there was one big problem. Leo did not know how to bake. The next morning, after paying Mr. Anderson, Leo took a deep breath and said, "Sir, can you teach me how to bake?" Mr. Anderson looked surprised. He frowned and said, "Why should I teach you? If you bake your own bread, you will stop buying from me. That is bad for my business." Leo bowed his head politely and said, "You are right, sir, but I will never forget the man who gave me my first chance. If I succeed, I will help you too." Mr. Anderson was silent for a moment. Then he said, "All right, Leo, but baking is not easy. You must be patient. You must work very hard. If you are ready, I will teach you." Leo smiled with joy. The next morning, Leo came to the bakery at 3 a.m. The sky was still dark. His hands were cold, but his heart was full of hope. Mr. Anderson taught him everything: how to mix flour, how to knead the dough, how to let it rest, how to use the oven correctly. At first, he failed many times. His bread was too hard. Sometimes it was too soft. Sometimes it was burned. His hands were in pain. His body was tired. His mind was full of doubt. One day, after ruining another bread batch, Leo sat down on the floor. He looked at his hands and whispered, "Maybe I am not good enough. Maybe I should give up." But then he remembered his father's words: "Dreams are not free." He stood up again and said to himself, "I will not give up." The next day, he came back again. He practiced more carefully. He listened closely. He learned from every mistake. Slowly, little by little, his bread became better. After 2 weeks, Mr. Anderson tasted Leo's bread. He smiled and said, "This is perfect, Leo. Now you are ready." Leo was very happy. He rented a small oven at home. He started baking by himself. His family was amazed. His mother helped prepare the ingredients. His little sister Sophie helped pack the bread. His father watched him with proud eyes. Soon, Leo was not only selling bread, he also made cookies and pastries. People in the town loved his food. They said, "Leo's bread is the best in town." But one day, a new problem came. A new bakery opened in the town. It belonged to a young man named Eric. His shop was big and colorful. It looked clean and modern. People became curious. Many customers started buying from Eric. Leo's sales became less and less. Leo felt scared. "What if I lose everything?" he thought. But instead of giving up, he chose to improve. He talked to his customers and asked, "What do you like about Eric's bakery? What can I do better? Some people said, his shop looks beautiful. Others said, his cakes look very nice. Leo understood. I must grow, not complain. He used his small savings. He painted his cart. He added bright decorations. He offered free samples again. At night, he went to the library. He watched videos and learned how to decorate cakes. Slowly, little by little, his customers returned to him. One evening, an old woman said to Leo, I have seen many young people give up, but you did not. That is why we trust you. Leo felt proud and thankful. Months passed. Leo saved enough money to rent a small shop. It was not big, but it was clean and warm. He named it Leo's Fresh Bakes. Every morning before sunrise, Leo baked fresh bread. He opened his shop with a smile. His family worked with him. Sophie loved talking to customers. His mother managed the money. Leo's dream was slowly becoming real. But life was not done testing him yet. Leo's small bakery, Leo's Fresh Bakes, had become the heart of the town. People loved his bread, cakes, and pastries. Every day, the shop was full of smiles. But one night, everything almost disappeared. It was a stormy night. Heavy rain fell from the sky. Strong wind shook the town. Leo was closing his shop when he smelled smoke. He turned around and saw fire near the oven. Fire! Fire! He shouted. Leo rushed inside. Without thinking, he grabbed water. He threw it again and again. Finally, the fire stopped. But much of the equipment was damaged. The oven was broken. The shelves were burned. The next morning, people gathered in front of the shop. Some whispered, "Oh no, what will Leo do now? Is this the end of his bakery?" Leo stood in front of the damaged shop. His heart was broken, but his spirit was still strong. He said to himself, "This is not the end. This is just another test. I will not give up." Leo checked all his savings. It was not enough to repair everything. Fear came into his heart. Then he remembered his long journey, how he started with nothing, how he failed and tried again, how he learned step by step. Leo decided to ask for advice. He visited Mr. Anderson, who had already retired. "Sir," Leo said, "I had a fire in my bakery. I am scared. What should I do?" Mr. Anderson smiled gently and said, "Leo, you already know the answer. Nothing is free. If you want to rise again, you must work harder and believe in yourself." Those words gave Leo new strength. Leo started small again. He baked bread at home with the little equipment he had left. He told his customers, "I will keep serving you. It may be small for now, but I promise I won't stop." The people were touched by his courage. One by one, they began to help him. Some gave flour, some gave sugar, some gave small amounts of money. Some came to clean and repair the shop. Leo learned a powerful lesson. When you help yourself, people will want to help you too. After many months of hard work, the bakery was repaired. It was even more beautiful than before. On the reopening day, the whole town came to celebrate. Even the town mayor came. The mayor said, "Leo, you are a true inspiration. You showed us that determination can change a life." Leo stood in front of everyone and said, "I started with nothing but a dream. I failed many times, but I never gave up. Thank you for believing in me." Tears filled his eyes. From that day on, Leo's fresh bakes became famous. People from other towns came to visit. They wanted to meet the young man who never gave up. Leo did not only build a bakery, he built a better life. He built respect. He built hope. And this is the lesson of Leo's story. Dreams are not free. You must pay with hard work. Failure is not the end. It is a lesson. Help yourself first, then help will come. Never give up. The darkest moment often comes just before success. Leo changed his life. And you can too. Remember, nothing is free, but everything is possible.